Hey guys, this is Flashbacks, a Flash Rewatch podcast. I'm Alex. I'm here once again with.
Brady. And how you guys doing tonight? Good? All right, that's good. Let's get to this shit.
we we've been like talking for a good bit, so Brady's ready to go like before we
Oh
start
yeah.
recording. I'll be honest, we're today first off before we go into that, you want to talk a bit about like how cool that was last time interviewing those VFX guys and everything?
Dude, yeah, it was awesome and it's cool too because it gives us a chance to give people whose names you don't know a spotlight. So I the people like I didn't know who half those people were. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know who half those people were before that interview, but getting to know them and their experiences on The Flash and hearing about their pranks when they during their time working there was
Yeah.
just so cool.
It was awesome, man. Like it's one of those things too. It's like that's definitely going to be a highlight, and hopefully in the future we can get some more people on, maybe bring some of them back when it's like one of the specialized episodes or something like that. Maybe just to be like, "Hey, I did this part" or something
Yeah.
like that. That'd be
My
kind of fun. Go ahead.
Dude, yeah, I would love to get a writer on this show. I would love for like us to somehow get a writer of an episode on this show.
Or a
That's like the
costume
ultimate goal.
designer or something like that'd be cool too.
Yeah, costume designer or hell, one of the freaking actors themselves. It's never gonna happen, but it'd be
We
awesome.
can
Get
dream.
like Teddy Sears on here or some shit.
If I'm on the floor of one of the, Galaxy conventions or something, I get like an autograph, I'm sure like I could at least get one of them to at the least do a bumper and at the most like do like a 5 second interview, be like, hey, what'd you think of blah blah blah, basically.
That would actually be sick.
Yeah, cool. That's how I got them from on Night of the Batman with Starlin, as I just asked him and he did it. So
Didn't
yeah.
you have Neil Adams too?
No, no.
Or was I making I think I was making that up then. I think I hallucinated that.
No, that would be amazing because I met him when I was a teenager, so that'd be
That you probably told me about that, and that's what I was thinking of in my brain.
yeah, that would require some time travel on my part. But anyway, we're gonna get into season 2, episode 3, Family of Rogues. Did you remember this episode? I didn't really know what to make of it before I watched it. Obviously, just brief thoughts. I really did enjoy it. It was a good episode, but I didn't really remember it before.
So here's the thing. I do remember this episode, but I thought this was an episode in season one, not two.
Hmm. It does
Because
kind of
like
feel
I've
like one.
Yeah, because like I've stated in previous episodes, I really recently only went back to watch the finale when I was just a guest on this show. Didn't bother going back to rewatch the rest of season one, so I thought this was just a season one episode, and then it gets to a certain point, and I'm like, hold on a second, wait, this is season two? I thought this was season one.
Yeah, I could see how it could feel like one, definitely with well, towards like later on we get less of these interesting villains in here. That's another show, but they go like so one of them goes to a whole nother show because he's so interesting he doesn't have time for the Flash anymore. But like he pretty
Yeah.
soon we're gonna lose Snart. But anyway, um he's too cool. They have to I didn't make that as a dad joke,
Oh,
damn it.
your freaking ice puns.
And that wasn't
Oh my
even
God.
intentional. Come on. But
I know.
anyway, let's go ahead and get into this episode. Family of Rogues. So, starting right off the top, we open on a pretty harrowing scene where Iris is getting shot at Baldwin Tower in a part of it that's under construction by two gunmen while calling Barry for help. He's across town in the crime lab and tells her to jump from a nearby window. She does, and Flash saves her mid-fall. Barry asks how many guys were up there, and she says two, and he runs down with two guns, which was a cool touch. He asked her what she was doing. She got a lead on a real estate scheme. She thanks him and says she can't wait to write the story. What a fun scene. What'd you think of this opening scene?
I thought it was a very cool way to open the episode. It opens with like you don't really know what's going on, and then like like you just said, Iris starts calling Barry, and they're shooting at her. She hides behind a pillar. I was like, "Whoa, that was out of nowhere, but that was freaking awesome."
Yeah. I liked it. And also it shows like how she's kind of grown, and like they even say it later, but like how she's kind of grown into her role and like as a character and grown up a lot since
Yeah.
like the first season, basically. Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, after the opening credit, we cut to Star Labs as Team Flash, and I put in my notes quotation marks around Jay, like because it's not really the real Jay. I'm like, do I call him like fake Jay? I'm like, I'll just call him like Jay and put the quotations on it,
Hey.
basically. But
I did that at one point too in my notes. I put quotes around when I said J.
yeah, they examine a breach in the lab. Stein wanders in, and Caitlin says he should be resting. His blood pressure is so high he could pass out, but he rebuffs her. Jay thinks it's his way home, but Cisco says everything he puts in there just bounces back. Barry says maybe only a speedster can get in there since Zoom has been using them to port over metas. He runs back to give himself room, and Cisco goes, he's not gonna. And then Jay smirks and says, yes, he is. And he runs back into the room and bounces off of it. I like this little comedic moments. It's shown also that they've grown closer as like Team Flash with Jay, basically.
Yeah, that was a very funny moment. I was like, oh God, here's Barry being cocky again. It's gonna bite him in the ass, like right off the bat. Also, they start talking about some weird stuff with Martin Stein here. I didn't know that was this soon in the series or in the season. I thought they got into that way later.
Yeah. Do you mean like with his like blood pressure stuff or?
With the blood pressure stuff and like the firestorm of it all, really. I thought they got
Yeah.
into that way later on, but that's literally next episode.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Like a lot of this is like me rediscovering it because I think for the most part, like I have rewatched this show before, but I think most of the time when I would go for a rewatch, it was for season one, and then like I think maybe just some scattered episodes here and there. Like I don't think I've like ever gone through the series again since then. So a lot of this is going to be, which is a good thing. A lot of it's going to be like it's almost new for me, and I'll remember some stuff, but overall, like I've definitely forgotten a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
and then as our audience will hear, there's going to be a certain point in this podcast where I have no idea what the fuck's going on because quit watching after season three. So that will be interesting to sort of discover what happens
I thought
after
you meant
all
this
of that.
episode, like you said. I thought you meant like I
No,
didn't even finish this episode. Like at a certain point, they're going to realize I stopped watching like halfway through. I was like, Brady, come
nah,
on, man.
nah. Nah, man. The first three seasons are my jam. I will always find an excuse to watch these.
Yeah, nice. But so Barry says maybe only I already did that part. Edit point, rewind. But anyway, sorry, future Alex. But Barry thinks he might not be fast enough, but Jay says it's not that. They need to think of it as a door and the hallway keeps moving, and Cisco says they need to stabilize the door and then like he'd be able to jump in, and then Jay says it would act as a cannon or a speed cannon, and Cisco, pleased by this, humorously says they should hang out more. I like this little scene of like them bonding basically.
Dude, I would love to see like an Earth 2 spinoff of Cisco and Jay. That would be hilarious.
They're just hanging out like they just like, yeah, sorry about your friend or something, like it's just like instead of how
It's
obviously we
just
know
like
the
Jay and Silent Bob.
oh God, here we go. There it is.
Like Jay and Silent Bob, the series.
Jay and Vibe, basically.
Yes. Oh my God, you're so right.
Yeah, they'd probably. I'd watch it, but
Just hope they don't wind up in Call of Duty.
yeah. So Stein cues everyone to leave, saying his wife is on the way to pick him up. That was kind of weird how I guess the scene just had to naturally end. Maybe that was like Victor Garber being like ready for like lunch or something like
I
that.
have
Be
to
like,
go record Green Lantern First Flight. I
all
have
right,
to go be
everyone.
Sinestro.
All right, everyone. Scene's over. I need to go take a nap.
I don't have anyone who I can convince to kill themselves in this scene. I'm going home.
My work here is done for today. It's like, oh no. He doesn't actually
Oh
have blood
Lord.
pressure
No one's dead
problems.
yet.
There's actually have blood pressure problems. Iris has secretly been like injecting like more like sugar into like everything, so like his blood pressure is wonky and everything. She's tr
Damn,
she's
that
tried
got
to
dark.
kill him. Well, I mean, like if your fiance got inadvertently killed by some dude talking about live up to your potential, I don't know how I feel either. He's
You
got a
know what?
pattern
You're
of
not
this, man.
wrong.
It's a problem. He needs
I
to be stopped.
concede on that one. You are not wrong.
He needs to be locked up in Iron Heights. But anyway.
He does.
So like cue to Joe meeting his ex-wife at the bar, Francine. She knows he's still wearing his wedding ring. This line was so cold. Divorced men take it off, widowers don't. I was like, my notes say,
Widowers
damn.
don't. Yeah, my I almost made a note about that, but mine just says hell of an episode to watch on the day before Mother's Day because that's when we're recording this. So it's like, damn, this is wild.
This was not intentional, by the way, everybody. I had no idea that this that this was
No,
going to be a thing, man. That's wild. Like I saw your note and that's hilarious actually. Like I get it. I get it now. It's kind of funny. But
yeah,
so
there's
like
another note that I have that I found funny, but I'll talk about it later.
gotcha. So like she suddenly has an interest in Iris. Joe gives her money to leave town. She doesn't want to leave. Her daughter saying, "You think you could pay me off to like leave her?" He's like, "Last time you did it for free." I was like, "Oh shit." He is not like pulling any
Yeah,
punches in
Joe
this
is
one.
just fire.
I mean, once
No,
you
he
find
fires
out
bullets
why,
at people from his gun and his mouth.
once you find out why, you're like, okay, fair. Like once they go into it, it's like, okay, I kind of get why he's like that now, basically. But it's
Yeah.
it's been 20 years. What changed? He asked. Now she's changed. She said she's different. He says she's too late. She says he's done a great job, but Iris lost the love of her life and needs her. That's not just something you get over. She would know, referring to her and Joe, saying, and like basically like that's talking about Joe. And then he's like, "Would you? You have 48 hours to leave Central City," and throws the envelope of money to her. Oof is what I say in my notes.
Ooh.
Yeah, she ain't
Yeah,
going
that was
anywhere.
yeah, I had about the same reaction when
Yeah, I'm like,
uh-uh.
once you get the
Well, because we
context,
gotta
it makes
introduce Wally
sense.
West.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
do you think that they like? I feel like a lot of this is like made like their decisions are made after the fact. Like they didn't know they were going to introduce Wally West like that. Because then I think in the comics he's like his like
Well,
cousin, right?
in the comics, Wally is Iris's nephew. It's her brother's kid. However, I suspect they had something, maybe not Wally, but they had something planned with Iris's mom for season two. Because
Hmm.
remember when when me and Ben were on the finale, and I was talking about one of the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray or on the
Oh
DVD
yeah,
was them having a deep conversation about Iris's mom. So this part has been here the whole time.
maybe that's
I'm
why it
not
feels like a season one episode to you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Wally stuff has been there since like the beginning, like that was their idea. Probably not, honestly, but I don't know. It would be cool if it was, like if they had plans to do Wally that way the whole time.
Yeah. Like it's gonna be interesting. And we'll definitely I'm looking forward to eventually getting into Wally because once we do that, like peek behind the curtain, guys, a lot of the because I want to get through season two, a lot of the rest of the season is probably gonna be just straight episode by episode reviews so that we can get closer to the finale and keep moving. Cool. So, cut to CC Jitters. Barry is carrying a lot of coffee and bumps into my favorite character this season, Patty Spivot. Yeah, yeah.
Both
Like
of our favorite
I got
characters, yeah.
visibly excited. Like not like that, but I got like visibly excited when she got on the screen. I can't like
I wasn't even thinking of it like that, you fucking pervert. What the heck?
because I came out of my mouth and I was just like, this sounds bad. Let me go ahead and get in front of it. But by saying it,
So
I
did
made it
that.
sound worse. Yeah.
Oh
Anyway,
my
it's
gosh, dude. Yeah, no, I wasn't even thinking of it like that.
like I said last time, this is an explicit podcast. We're okay. But Yeah, anyway. Um
Oh,
she says, "Hey," he's like, "Hey," and then like she goes like, "The Flash." Barry is visibly confused. She clarifies it's the drink they're serving today and says he should probably only have one of them. He's grabbing them for his friends and asks for her to stay, but she has to go into work saying it was great to see him. And my other note, they're so cute. Like, like I love any scene they're together and like flirting and stuff. It's like always just a great scene. These actors have
yeah,
great
my
chemistry.
notes just say Barry and Patty in like all caps.
I'm glad that we're both on the same page. It would be like a weird recording if you were just like, I don't like this ship. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's like fuck this character.
I'd be like, okay, I'm removing Brady from the from the call. Hold on one
Remove me
second.
from the Zoom chat.
Anyway, gonna have to talk to you afterwards about your role going forward
Send
in
me to Earth
flashbacks.
2.
Gotta talk to you later about your role in flashbacks moving forward.
Your ass is going to the Speed Force.
Yeah, or it's like, hey Brady, what happened to Brady? Like Brady, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? That man does not exist.
Yeah. But so he joins Team Flash at their table. Caitlin is worried about Stein, so she excuses herself to call him and check in. They doubt that'll go well, and Cisco starts doing a hilarious impression of Stein before he accidentally bumps into someone.
It's like dead on too. Like it's so good.
How much you want to bet they did that behind the scenes? Like that was probably a thing that that actor did, and they were just like hold and like obviously Victor Garber probably found it funny, and they're like just do it in one of the scenes, basically. Like maybe one of the writers
Yeah, I
heard
was
that
like,
and like wrote it in.
yeah, maybe. I mean, I was just thinking that it was I was going somewhere with that, but then my brain decided to just say fuck you and erase every thought I had in my mind. But that
ADHD.
could have been what it was. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, but I it could have been that. Yeah, is probably my guess is like he does impressions behind the scenes and they just heard him doing that and they were like, "Oh, he's funnier than we are."
Definitely. But so he apologizes to the person he bumped into, and she turns, revealing it's Lisa Snart, the Golden Glider. Team Flash is disturbed by her being there, and Cisco makes a crack asking her if her and Cold are robbing coffee shops now. Um, Uh, she needs his help. He rebuffs her, threatening to call the Flash. I like this scene. This is not in my notes, but he was just like, he's like, I'll call the Flash right now. It just keeps cutting back to Barry, just like slowly like sipping his
He's
coffee
like,
and everything, being like, I don't know what your next move is here, dude. Like, I'm like right here, basically.
yeah. Also, my note about this scene just real quickly is like they are talking kind of loudly about Flash stuff saying like Barry's the Flash in the middle of this restaurant, and my note just says, "Can you guys talk any louder about Barry being the Flash?" Jesus, like they're talking at like a loud enough volume that clearly somebody would hear them, and they're just rattling away. It's
That'd be
like, do you
funny,
guys
dude.
not care?
We should do like a skit, like have like a green screen or something, like have that scene and just be like, wait, did you hear that guy? It's like, guy fucking knows the Flash.
Hey, I think that guy's the Flash. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that guy, he knows. Oh my
we should
God. Like
so
we
do that.
go we go up to him. Oh my God, you know the Flash? Be like,
It's like, no, what are you talking about? It's like, I heard you
I clearly heard you
very
just
clearly.
this woman's is related some way to Captain Cold. Like it's like I heard both of
Yeah.
you. You were talking extremely loud for everyone to hear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, what? Like, you guys have some connection with the Flash, surely, right? Like,
Wait,
one of
you're
you's got to be the Flash.
wait, that's Barry Allen. Like I always see him with like with Iris. Like, hey, wait, do you know the Flash? Like I know you write a bunch of stories.
Yeah,
It's like somebody starts putting it together, all of a sudden there's a random civilian in the
dude.
pipeline.
That's what the anti-monitor needs is for everyone to figure out who every superhero in the DC universe is, and then he can kill the multiverse.
If only they were more observant. It's kind of like in the Arkham games, where like if they were actually observant, they would just like clearly see like Did you guys like hear that? Just like look up and see Batman up there on one of the gargoyles or something.
Yeah, but they have to program the AI a certain way for that not to happen.
Yeah. Can you imagine though if it was real? Anyway, we're going on a whole tangent. Like I'm gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna keep moving. I got a lot of notes
that's
still.
a TISMO Talks topic right there.
It's it's late and I'm kind of like just or late for me. I'm kind of just like bouncing off of different things. But anyway, we're gonna get back into the episode. Um, her brother's been kidnapped. Cut to Star Labs. Flash is dubious, and she insists she saw it happen amidst them robbing someone. Basically, that Cold had got kidnapped. Someone knocked her out, and then when she woke up, Roy was gone with the cash, and Lenny had been taken. They think it might be a trap, but Lisa insists that if Snart wanted Flash dead, he would have saved him. He wouldn't have saved him, and that Flash owes Lenny a favor. How are they going to find him? Cisco didn't have time to put a tracker on the new cold gun, but he had his satellite look for ultraviolet cold signatures as a way to track cold. I actually thought this was really clever, like a really clever way around like the whole
Yeah,
like finding his location.
Batman should take a page out of Cisco's book when he needs to find Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, Batman needs to just subcontract Cisco to come help him with his cases and everything.
Just subcontract Star Labs like, I need your help.
Basically, like
Instead of
Arrow
going, I
does.
need to find the coldest point in Arkham City, and then
Yeah.
I'll find where Mr. Freeze is.
The power, what they say all the time, it's like the bomb explode, like is exposed like by the power winch or whatever that line is that people always
Oh,
repeat in the Arkham
it's
Reddits.
something about like the bomb's
Payload.
payload is exposed
Yeah, there you
using the
go.
winch will something something.
Yeah, or that what is he stupid thing that I get so sick of
What is
hearing.
he? Oh my God, dude, that's a whole topic in
The
and of
brain rot
itself.
anyway.
Arkham Brain Rot is the worst.
I know. But he's at fifth and Hoyt. All right, let's see if you're a liar, Flash says. He finds Start perfectly fine. I like this scene where he's just like he's like Snart and he's like Flash like that. He's like
Ash.
yeah, he's like
Dude, I just love Wentworth Miller in this show in general. He's so like cold and dry with his humor. He's like Flash.
but like he also like he plays it a certain way where it's kind of like he's aware of how like silly his character is, but like it's like up to a point where like it's not where it goes over the basically the pale where it's like too goofy or anything. Like there's always
Yeah.
like that fine line between like kind of campy and like serious basically. Like he does that really well. It's a hard thing to pull off and make it
Oh
like still
yeah.
good. But anyway, so like he's like basically Barry is shocked to find him there. He asks why Lisa thinks he's been kidnapped and he freezes him when his dad walks in. He's been working with his dad and they leave Snart has blueprints in his hand. That will become important later. But Cisco added a heating function to the suit, which I thought this was cool. It melts the ice and it's really cool. The symbol glows and everything, but Snart is gone. Lisa
Yeah.
has a lot of explaining to do. Like I
Yeah,
liked
the
that.
effects here were really awesome too, like the heating and then the ice melting. Like that was a sick effect.
Speaking of like our VFX artists, like
Oh
that was
yeah.
really well done, guys. But if any of
Yeah,
you
shout out to them on
listening,
that one. If any of them are listening to this, y'all killed it on that shot. If any of you who were on that interview worked on that scene.
I'm sure they did. But also the dad is played by Michael Ironside, which is cool. Um Like I don't know if you're probably familiar with Michael Ironside, right? Really? He was
Depends on what he's in.
you ever seen Superman the animated series?
Yeah, I've seen
Dark
one and a
Side.
half seasons, yeah.
He's Dark Side in that.
Oh, it's Darkseid. Is he Darkseid in Justice League too?
Yeah, the same guy, yeah.
Okay, okay, cool. So yeah, I know his voice. I just wouldn't recognize his face from anywhere.
Oh,
I
we're
don't
gonna
think.
come up with a cool connection later that you probably won't know because you haven't seen, but like it's one of those ones where two actors in here have been in something else together. But we'll get into it
Oh,
in a minute. Lisa says Lenny wouldn't work with their dad. He's a bad guy. Caitlin says her and her entire family are criminals. Why should they trust anything? She says. which is fair. Lisa reveals a scar on her upper shoulder. I didn't
Yeah.
get this scar by being a criminal. I got it by being a daughter. That there's some great lines in here like this. Like the whoever wrote this episode did a really great job. I'll probably
Yeah.
put that in the description or something, honestly.
Props.
Yeah.
Yeah. Props to the writer on this one. They killed it.
Yeah, definitely. She walks out and Cisco stops them, saying he'll handle it. She tells Cisco about being constantly abused by her father. He always said he was teaching us lessons. I must have been a slow learner because the lessons never stopped. What a great line. Like once again, so well written. Like that, like this episode, like does such a great job at like doing the whole abuse thing and like making it like well it's well handled in this basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically Lenny raised her. Without him she would have turned out a lot worse. They have a humorous moment where when she acknowledges how much worse than she is now. Like basically it's like I know Cisco what you're thinking, like how much worse than I am now, basically. He's like, I didn't say that. And
Yeah.
she says, trust me, there is worse. She says he always protected her, and now it's her turn, and urges Cisco to help her find out what's going on. And once again, what a great scene. So cut to picture news as Joe goes in to meet with Iris before he can tell her about his meeting with her not actually dead mother. Linda pops in to congratulate Joe and his daughter, making the front page with her expose. I love how congratulatory it is with her. Iris is thrilled. You had a note about Linda.
Yeah. My note literally says Linda, hell yeah, because I like that actress. I grew up watching her on Big Time Rush, which is a weird thing that not a lot of people know her from, but like she's Lucy on Big Time Rush. I love that show. I love the music, but I know her from that, and I like that actress as Linda in some of these episodes. And I'm like, every time she shows up, I'm like, yes, we get more Linda because I don't remember her showing up after season two.
Yeah, me
Hey,
either. Me either, honestly. Like I mean, we might be proven wrong. Like we might be, we might go to season
probably will
three,
be.
and she's just there. We're like, oh, I guess. Do we really know this show? Like, what's happening here? But yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's like podcast is canceled because we didn't know Linda Park is in the background of one fucking shot in season three.
might just call this just like a flash podcast because like we apparently we didn't watch this show. We don't remember parts of it. But anyway,
Apparently not. My
uh,
memory is also ass recently.
the wheels are coming off. But anyway, he excuses himself saying, keep being awesome or something and leaves, realizing it's not the right time. I love how like excited he is for her though. Like that was like a really great like moment, like despite like all the turmoil he's going through right now. He's a
Yeah,
great
for sure.
dad.
It was a cool moment. Yeah, like you said, to see Joe like really happy for his daughter, but also like she has to know that like it deep down he's thinking like she has to know this, but I'll let her have her moment for right now.
Definitely. Cut to Barry meeting Cold at the shady bar we've seen before. He asks him why he's working with his father, Lewis. Barry says Lisa says like basically that Cold hates their dad, and Cold insists things are complicated with family, and he knows it is with like his basically like talking to Barry about his dad and stuff. Um, Barry wants to help him, and Cold says, "Don't save people who don't want to be saved." Quoting one of my favorite J. Cole songs loosely is what my note was. Do you know what song I'm talking
What?
about?
I didn't even know that's from a song.
It's
No,
like that one. It's like, "Don't save her. She don't want to be saved." It's like
never
I
heard
think it's
this.
a J. Cole. Never mind. Anyway, uh, that's for the J.
Generational
Cole.
difference.
It's for the J. Cole fans out there. Oh, come on, man. This ain't like a Tupac thing or something.
Nah,
But
even I know who that is.
yeah, it's funny I brought him up because I maybe only know one or two of his songs. But anyway,
I don't know any of his songs. I just know who he is because I did a report on him in high school. Anyway, back on the show.
yeah, yeah. Barry says maybe it's not about him, basically like saying Barry says innocent people might get hurt, and Colt says he remembers their deal and no one will die. Barry says Cold lives by a code, but he feels like Lewis doesn't, and people will get hurt. He has to get involved. Cold threatens to reveal his secret, but Barry, and I really like this, doesn't care. He'll take care of, like, he'll basically take both of them down. I like that he's like, I don't care about my secret at this point. Like, I'll take you down.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Yeah,
was a badass scene. In my notes, I say that Snart is very menacing, and Barry, for that matter, to be fair. They're both like very menacing and intimidating in this scene, and this is one of my favorite scenes in the episode by far.
yeah. Definitely. He gets a call from Joe, and we cut to Joe's house. None of them knew, like, basically that the mom was actually alive, Francine. And that he lied to everyone. He says the reason he lied is she did so many things wrong. He felt like he had no choice, but his one wrong might be worse than all hers. Barry says he always has a good reason for the decisions he makes, and says obviously he thought Iris would go down the wrong path if Francine was there. He relates it to Snart being a criminal because he had Lewis as a father. He says that they would have turned out worse without Joe, and if Francine had stayed, he's worried. Basically, like he's worried about telling Iris, saying he might lose her, but Barry says he won't. He just has to trust her and give her a chance. Um, I like that he also brings up the scene from the beginning as an example of how cool she is and how much she's grown up and grown. Like I like that whole scene and like him basically being like, dude, you made like the right choice. And then we're gonna get to it later, but there was, man, this is an emotional episode. But
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I also had a note on this scene because Barry, when he's talking to Joe and he's like, "Oh, I who knows how it would have turned out if I didn't have you." And I'm like, "Way to discount your actual dad, dude." Like I know he was kind of a manipulative douche and like left for no reason,
He
but
left, he's dead to
still,
me.
he's dead to me for now.
Yeah, yeah. Man, like one of your favorite quotes from this man, this motherfucker Barry doesn't care about anyone.
You know how motherfucking Barry is one of my favorite quotes that you have ever said on this show. Because it felt like it was out of nowhere, too. You were just like, you know how motherfucking Barry, and you kept a straight face. And then Will and I had, well, I wasn't on the show at the time, but when I was listening, I had the same reaction as Will. I was just like, what the hell?
That's the funniest thing is because sometimes like I'll be intentionally funny, and the other times I'll say some shit and it not like me not thinking it's funny in my head, and all of a sudden like somebody just dies. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess this is kind of funny. But
Yeah, shit cracked me up.
we got t-shirts are coming out if we ever make merch pretty soon. We'll have that motherfucker Barry.
You know how motherfucking Barry, and it's just that one picture of Grant Gustin with the
Yeah.
sunglasses, like, I
Oh man.
fucking need that as a t-shirt so unbelievably bad. I'm like crying now from how hard I'm laughing. Holy shit.
So anyway, we're gonna get serious though for a second. Cut to Lewis and Cold planning the robbery with one random guy with the blueprints from earlier that like Cold was holding. He confirms Flash's concern from earlier when Cold asked him with the guards leaving. Like basically there's gonna be a shift change, and they said if the timing is off, basically Lewis is like, "Well, kill them." Snart wants to start the top floor instead to bypass the potential casualties, but Lewis cuts him off, saying, uh, like they don't know, or they both know casualties in this line of work. Basically, it's like, look, there's casualties in this line of work, like it's just part of the job. And he does like this whole outstretched hand thing, and then like Snart just kind of moves away from him. And then obviously Lewis notices that and pivots to the tech guy who says the keypads are going to be a problem. Lewis asks if he's going to disappoint him too, or if the freeze gun will work when he's talking to Snart, like on the grid, the laser grid. He says, he's got a better, actually it's just on the grid at this point. I skipped ahead a little bit, but,
It's all good.
yeah. So he asks him if his freeze gun is gonna work on the grid, and he says he's got a better idea to freeze the lasers, and the tech guy gets agitated, saying that the gun is the only reason he's there. Really bold of him, like obviously we're gonna go into the next thing, but really like bold of him to like attack like the son of the dude you're working for. Like that was like one of those
Yeah.
things where I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, especially when you know he's a guy who's gone toe to toe with the Flash on multiple occasions, and you start learning what it means to fuck around and find out, like, no, something bad's gonna happen to you.
Yeah. And then Lewis uses some device to blow the man's head up, and then we find out like basically he had planted a bomb. And he's like, no one talks to his son that way. Cold isn't pleased that he killed him. Um, and then we cut to the next
Louis
day.
Snart should be friends with Amanda Waller.
Yeah, no, I had that same idea too. Like I about put in my notes that like he like suicide squatted him basically. But
Yeah, I put that in my notes.
yeah. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that note makes more sense. But so we share notes by the way, guys, behind the scenes. So that's why like
Yeah.
sometimes you'll hear me like refer to notes and stuff. But anyway, cut to a crime scene the next day with the meat packers truck as Joe and Barry meet up with Patty. The decapitated tech guy is in the truck and they're still trying to ID him. And then, speaking of dad jokes, she screams, "Thought I slipped on an ear. I didn't. If I did, I'd be hearing things." Barry chuckles, and then Joe has my response where he's like, "Oh hell no," and just like walks off.
My note just says that was dark as hell. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. Like I think that's like I think I've heard like I know at least in the military that's a thing like the whole gallows humor thing. Like I think they do that in order to like kind of deal with like the shit they're seeing. Like you got to kind of make jokes out of it just to kind of like get through it.
Yeah.
So I could see
Yeah,
that definitely
that's
being a thing.
in my job, of course I'm not gonna say any details, but in my job that's what we do. We just joke around when shit gets rough.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like you have to. Like it's like otherwise you'll go crazy basically.
Yeah.
But so they're trying to figure out what caused it. She thinks it's a meta who can blow heads up. Is this the boys?
Didn't even think of that. I forgot about that till just now. You're so right though.
Yeah, especially it's hilarious because she's in the boys too, so it's like that
Yeah.
extra layer too. Like I was just like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, holy shit. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
It's been
Um,
a while since I seen the boys though.
yeah, it's great stuff though. But they determine it's thermite. The victim is David Rutenberg, a security expert, known associate of Lewis Snart. Patty says like Captain Cold's dad, and Joe tells her, please don't call him that.
That was a
LOL.
cool little exchange.
Like Joe, like I get it from Joe's perspective. He's probably like, if I had to look into it a bit, he's probably like, don't start nicknaming these guys, basically. Like even though like everybody else does, kind of like the Arrow thing where it's like you give your like villains like nicknames and stuff, like that whole mentality.
Yeah.
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 But
Or
Joe,
like Nick Fury from Spider-Man No Way Home when they bring up Captain Marvel, like when Spider-Man's like, "What about Captain Marvel?" Fury's like, "Don't invoke her name."
yeah, it's like don't bring it. Shut up. Anyway. He's got no time. But Joe asks if he thinks he's part of Snart's family to Barry, like they walk off, and asks if Barry thinks Snart w would do that. He says he wouldn't, but his dad would. So Lewis is killing people, but Snart is still working with him. What about the deal you made? Joe asks. Barry thinks he might not have a choice. Joe asks if he thinks Lewis put a bomb in him to force his son to pull off a heist. And Barry's like, he just dig it out, so it must be someone he cares about, Barry says. The only thing that Snart cares about is his sister, though. So we kind of like, and
Yeah, also, did you notice that the audio in that scene was kind of weird when Barry said his sister? It sounded like they cut off the Grant Gustin saying his, so it just sounds like he's saying the only thing he cares about is sister. Because like there's a
oh,
glitch
that's
in the
weird.
audio somewhere that I noticed. I
Huh.
I I thought I was hallucinating it, but I went and double checked it a couple times. I was like, huh, it's a weird audio glitch.
That's interesting. I didn't notice that, but like maybe, like I could see maybe something like that, like slipping through the cracks potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. But cut back to Star Labs as Jay examines the breach. Caitlin brings him Big Belly Burger. Man, they need to franchise that. He laments not having his speed and basically also makes a quip about like oh, at least they have these in like every universe basically.
Doesn't that joke come up again later with a certain character we'll talk about next episode and potentially the end of this one? But I swear that character brings it up too.
Maybe they it might be like a reoccurring like writer's room joke or something like or some sort of reoccurring
Yeah.
bit they like just writing in.
Yeah.
He misses how fast he used to be. He used to be able to do things, save 50 people before breakfast. He misses the rush. He w worries Barry and the team have been moving so much that Barry hasn't had the time to appreciate how great it can feel. Also, interesting note, he has the heavy water origin here, but the particle accelerator still assisted him in giving him his powers. Like, I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't mention that in the last episode. They just said he was experimenting with heavy water vapors and something else. They didn't mention a particle accelerator, though. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
I think they're kind of like they're building to stick because we obviously see in one of the earlier episodes like the Star Labs and everything, and so maybe they're just like, well, we didn't write this in, and so like let's just make this part of it too. So like that's the one uniting thing, even though like in the comics that's not
Yeah,
really a
it's
thing.
like Yeah, it's like because this is technically not a spoiler because we know they have wells on Earth 2
Hmm.
at the end of last episode. So it's maybe just like they wanted to be like, okay, well, they have wells on this Earth, so they have the particle accelerator. He's not a metahuman, but he still made a particle accelerator.
Definitely. And then he's like, Caitlin's just like, she thinks he can accomplish just as much as a physicist as he could as a superhero, maybe more. Um, Jay says it would help to have an extra set of hands to help, but it's interrupted by Cisco on the intercom saying he needs her help now. They discover that Lewis injected Lisa with the bomb, basically like we kind of referred to earlier, while she was knocked out, hence why Snart is working with him. And I thought like that whole scene, like what do you think of I guess we can talk about this before we go to the next scene. Do you have any opinions on like Caitlyn and quote unquote Jay's like kind of budding romance or anything?
Yeah, I love what they've got going on for these few episodes until we figure out what's going on with Jay, and then it all just comes crumbling down. That like breaks my heart when I go back to season 2 because I'm like, ah, man, why did they have to do that? But it was, that was the intention with that relationship is build it up and then break your heart when the reveal happens. But yeah, I love their will they won't they sort of flirty thing.
Yeah, I kind of like it because it's not like too rushed. It's not like all of a sudden like they're dating and like hooking up and stuff. Like because like Ronnie did just die recently, so it's like one of those things where like
Yeah.
there's a potential for it to turn into something, but they're not like just like in a relationship immediately. Like it's one of those things like maybe this will turn into something, but they both are clearly a little bit interested in each other. But
Yeah.
yeah. So, cut to Joe's house as he looks at a photo album of Francine and Iris. Iris meets him there, and then we get to this scene. Joe tells her a story about when he was on dispatch and a little girl called and said her mother took some pills and was unresponsive. That little girl was Iris. And when he got there, Francine was passed out and the stove was on in the kitchen. Iris had her hand over an open flame. If he hadn't got there, things would have been way worse. He reveals Francine was a drug addict, and this wasn't the first time this had happened. Iris had no idea. He got Francine into another rehab. She was gone. He tried finding her after that, but a wife of a cop knew how to disappear. And then like this whole thing, dude, like he is so emotional through this and just like that whole like the way he tells that story, like you can like it's so well written, you can like picture it basically.
Yeah. Not just well written, well acted too on Jesse L. Martin's part. Like I feel that. Like I've never gone through anything like that in my life, but the way that Jesse L. Martin acts as Joe in that scene, I'm like, oh, I can feel that. But I was also going to mention something there. It's not in my notes. I literally just realized this as you were talking.
Hmm.
When he says Iris was putting her hand over an open flame, for some reason it reminds me of Gotham when Bruce does that when he's a kid, when he's like
Oh
standing
my
over the
God.
fireplace and he's putting his hands over the fire, and Alfred's like, "You're an idiot. You're
With the
dumb."
fucking heavy metal music going, he's like, I'm
I don't remember
edgy.
the heavy metal music.
There was
I don't
heavy
remember the
metal
metal.
music in the background where it's just like, I'm emo now. Like, that was the vibe of that scene, dude.
I mean, hey, it would lend nicely to the Robert Pattinson version where he's listening to Nirvana in his fucking bat cave.
Hey, man, like, it's better than the classical music. Like, sometimes in the comics they'll do that. I'm like, he wouldn't be listening to classical music in there. Like, I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think I was gonna say I know Nightwing for a fact would be listening to like Katy Perry, like unironically. He would just be listening to Katy Perry while smacking the shit out of some people just because he thinks it's funny.
Just Teenage Dream all the time. Like, just that
Yes.
specifically that album.
Yes, every song on that album, and like to get another connection to our show, Poker Face, he's listening to Poker Face, so he's just like throwing his freaking
He doesn't
Eskrima
even have
around, shocking the shit out of people.
He doesn't have earbuds in. He just has like the iPod Shuffle or something like
He
that
has
from
like
like
a
when he was a
stick,
kid.
yeah, like a speaker clipped on his Nightwing utility belt and is just beating the shit out of people while he listening to Katy Perry.
I could picture the poker face though. Like it's like these thugs are doing that. It's like all of a sudden they hear that ma 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 thing.
Mama, mama.
It's like it's like somebody hear like some music or something, all of a sudden they get kicked in the face or something like that. It's
It's
just
just
like
Nightwing's Eskrima stick comes flying at their face, and he's like, "Can't see my poker face, biatch."
yeah, he's just like taking them all out from like the shadows and everything. Like they
That would
start
be
shooting
so
at him.
sick.
Oh man. Like we need to someone needs to make that scene. But
I'll make that
anyway,
as a sketch.
um so like getting serious again. He didn't want her to grow up thinking she was abandoned and that her mom didn't love her enough to like to stay and that he loved Iris. He loved her with everything he had. Then Barry joined him and he saw the trauma he was going through and he knew he made the right choice. Iris is confused, saying, "What do you mean she left?" He reveals that she's alive in Central City and wants to meet her. He says he should have told her sooner, but couldn't figure out the right time to say it. He also reveals he lied to her about how her perfect, like the stories about her perfect mother, and he made it up because that was the mother she deserved, and that he knew Francine could never be that, and she'd only break her heart. I feel so bad for Joe here. He's so torn apart emotionally about keeping this from her and the guilt he's been carrying all these years, like lying to her, and then she grabs his hand saying she understands and he was just trying to keep her safe. And I was like, what a brilliant and emotional scene. Like, I just wanted to reach through the screen and like hug him in that moment and be like, dude, it's okay.
Yeah.
Basically, like,
Yeah,
it's all
hug
right.
both of them.
Yeah, because I'm like, dude, like, you raised, like, you are not the bad guy here. Like, you basically, like, single parented this thing because one of them pieced out. Like, you did
Oh
your
yeah.
job.
You
Yeah.
raised basically two children well enough that you telling either of them that, they would just be like, "Okay, I wish you would have told me that sooner, but like I'm not gonna crash out over it."
Yeah. No, this changes everything. That would be like some like early CW stuff. Be like,
Oh yeah, probably.
why did you tell me the truth? They run out dramatically.
Wouldn't be surprised if they did that on Smallville.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But anyway,
I was not throwing shade at Smallville. I
you're
want to be
not you're
clear.
not wrong, but watch it.
I'll
Um,
watch it eventually. I'll watch the rest of it.
no, I'm saying like you watch it, like watch talking crap about it.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah. But cut to Star Labs as they try to find a way to remove the bomb from Lisa. This isn't the first time. Oh, so here we go. Speaking of Smallville, this isn't the first time this actress and Michael have been father and daughter. In Smallville, he played General Lane and she played Lucy Lane.
Oh shit, that's cool. I didn't know he played General Lane on Smallville.
Yeah, she was Lucy Lane, so they played father and daughter before, which is so cool.
Lois had a sister in that show?
Yeah. It was like
Oh,
in like season 4, I think she's introduced, like in the comics too, obviously. And then like in the
I didn't even know that.
yeah, like in if you ever seen Supergirl, like Lucy Lane is in the early. Have you seen Superman and Lois? Like Superman and Lois, she's also a character
I've
in
seen
that.
Superman and Lois, but I've only seen two seasons.
I think she's in the second season.
Yeah, must not remember her then.
Okay. Anyway, so the bomb will explode if it's exposed to magnets, which they're trying to use to like locate it. And also air. With that snag, Cisco says he'll come up with something while they try to locate Lewis. So Barry needs to find out what their next move is. And with the dead tech guy, he's gonna pose as their new one, which I thought was like a really smart move. Um,
Yeah.
he meets up with Snart as Barry, and they have a face-off before Lewis shows up. He asks who the hell he is. Lenny said you need a new tech. My name's Sam. Like I like that little moment right
I
there.
for some reason when he's playing, it might just be like the name and the way he's acting, but it reminds me of Shia LaBeouf's character in Transformers for some reason. I don't know why I got like Sam Witwicky energy from that. He's like, "Yo, what's up? I'm Sam." I'm like, why does this guy remind me of Sam from Transformers?
What's up, yo? I'm Sam.
What's up, yo? What's up, Mr. White? Hey, yo, biatch.
It's like, all right, Barry. Rein it in a
You're
little
not
bit.
Aaron Paul. You're not Aaron Paul, Barry. Calm down.
That's how they act, right? I watched some Breaking Bad before I came here.
That should so have been a line. Like, what? They act like his dad, like Snart's dad leaves the room and he just turns to Snart and he goes, "What? I thought they act like that from Breaking Bad."
Just like you're an idiot. Like you, you interact with criminals all the time, dude.
Yeah, he's just like, and then he
Yeah, he doesn't
walks
even say
away and
anything. He's
Barry
just
has
like,
to, yeah,
God.
and Barry has to keep acting like that
He
for the
just
rest
keeps
of the
doing it.
episode.
He's like, "Yo, where you going?" It's like,
He's like, "Yo, biatch, where you headed to?"
"Hey, Speed Force." Anyway,
Hey, Speed. Oh,
we are
this is
coming
what happens
unglued in
when
this episode.
Yeah, this is what happens when we record late at night. Well, for you anyway.
Yeah, so Lewis is skeptical about it. Maybe it's because of all those moments where he kept saying "yo" all the time. It's like I don't know about your weird
You
friend.
overplayed your part, yo.
Yeah, yo, it's not my name is Sam. I don't care. But anyway, Lewis is skeptical about him getting into the Dracon security system, and Barry lies, making up some fake heist. Snart and him pulled off before Snart hilariously comes to back up his claim. Still not 100% sold. He said, "All right, Sam, let's go."
They mention Kondak in that scene too. Like Barry mentions a Kondak diamond, and I'm like, that's a fucking Black Adam reference. That's sick.
I love when they sneak little Easter eggs like that in here. Like
Yeah.
especially like I think one of my favorite ones, and it's never because of how the movies go and everything in Arrow, they never get to fully pay it off. But they have that moment where you see like in one of like the Arrow flashbacks, you see like a someone sitting at a bar, and it's like you see
I've
the
seen
yeah,
this.
the Air Force thing, and it's like
Yeah,
Jordan
and it
on
says
there.
Jordan on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
one of my
gosh.
favorite Easter eggs. That was so cool.
Yeah, and then they couldn't use the character because Zack Snyder had to be a jackass.
He didn't even use that one. That was the craziest part about it. But I guess like Warner Brothers is just like you can't use any of them basically. That's how we
Well,
get.
yeah, because they did.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's like later how we get to the whole thing with with like and always on the Arrow guys always reference this, but like David Ramsey's character Diggle just screaming at that green glowing box, I don't want it or stuff like that. Like he's just because like
Whoa.
it's the Green Lantern like glow you see it. He's just screaming, I don't want it because that's basically Warner Brothers speaking through him that like he can't pursue that being Green Lantern and everything.
That they don't want a Green Lantern project.
Yeah, they don't, man. I'm like, I'll see how that
I'm
Lanterns show is.
concerned for Lanterns. I really am.
I'm excited for that animated series they're developing though.
Animated series.
Aren't they? They're
Oh, the My
yeah.
Adventures with Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the My Adventures with Green Lantern I'm excited for. But my main brief Lanterns thing for a minute.
Oh, it's
My
fine.
main thing with Lanterns, we haven't heard anything of if they're gonna have suits or not, and I hate to be that guy, but if there are no Green Lantern suits, I'm not watching this fucking show. Like I want a Green Lantern show with the Green Lantern suits. If there aren't suits, I'm not watching the fucking show.
Right? Like that's my thing. It's just like don't go too grounded. It's like it's freaking space cops. Like come on, like don't go too grounded with this. But
Like,
yeah.
okay, sure, they've got aliens coming in. We've seen the pictures where they have the rings. If a suit doesn't come out of those rings, or I don't see a picture with them in suits, I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah. I agree. So, they pose as janitors and head to the 27th floor after a brief interruption because their key card wouldn't work. They run into another snag. The timing was off with the guards, and Lewis is about to kill the guards before Flash super speeds them away, saying they took a break. Start fully aware of what he did, LOL. And then, like, it's Sam's time to shine. Barry says for them to keep a lookout as he uses basically super speed, runs through every combo into the keypad before he gets it right. He's like, told you, told you, Dracon was my jam.
Told you Dracon was my jam.
Yo.
Yo,
It's like this guy is like your friend's weird. It's like what I could see like
dude,
Lewis just
I
being
I
like, this
didn't
guy's
even
really weird.
realize I didn't even realize until we started doing that bit more that that's technically a Justice League reference to the cartoon when Clayface disguises as the Flash and he like tied up Sinestro and he was like, I didn't need your help after all, yo. Batman shocks the shit out of him and reveals it's Clayface and he's like, you overplayed your part, yo.
Yeah. Batman, don't say yo, it's not cool.
That's Nightwing over the comms. Just Bruce, don't do that.
Yeah,
No,
don't. Oh
just no.
God. Enough. It's the dad jokes and stuff,
He
but
face palms at
yeah,
the
it's
bat
like
computer. He's like, oh God.
Bruce.
I told you, dude, you need to quit with the dad jokes, man.
Yeah. Anyway, Lewis thanks him before shooting him. Snart says sorry, Barry, before the door closes. After the break, we cut back to Barry, still seemingly dead on the ground, before we cut back to a flashback from the scene before the break, revealing Barry had caught the bullet. We cut back to him, eyes open, the bullet in his hand. Like I liked this whole scene. Cut back to Star Labs as Lisa looks at the bomb analysis readout. He's gonna use a gun that'll suck the bomb out of her neck using compressed air, which he worries about, but she says she trusts Cisco. We cut back from that to Lewis and Snart in the room full of lasers. He freezes them and walks through them. They have 125 seconds before the system defrosts and the sirens start as Lewis starts safe cracking. They open it to reveal a bunch of diamonds. Cut back to Cisco about to use the gun on Lisa. And he asks her how she feels. She quips like basically you should have put down more plastic, LOL. Um yeah,
Yeah,
like
that was a funny ass joke. I I wish that the fake out with Barry though, I wish that would have gone on longer just to add like more stake to that scene. Like he shoots Barry and he's on the ground for longer and he doesn't get up and we don't see that flashback until like after they open the safe. That would have been like add more stakes to it. Like, oh shit, is Barry really dead? But I get why they had to make it shorter for runtime reasons.
yeah. I hear you, but so like yeah, basically that part with the plastic. He says it's not funny, but she says she likes it when he smiles. He puts the gun to her neck, just as the critical moment, or just at the critical moment. Alert sounds freaking them out. And back in the lab, Barry asks how they're doing. They say they're kind of busy at the moment. Barry runs there and back. Like basically he runs back. Like we see like one shot where he's just standing there and all of a sudden he's back like in the flash suit. Um and he says the bomb needs to come out. They're almost done with the heist. The alarms sound in the room. He says Lewis is going back to Iron Heights. Like Barry shows up as the Flash and time's up. Cisco hilariously still needs more time, and Flash says what kind of man puts a bomb in his own daughter's neck? He says a very rich one, and he gets ready to use it like, and he tells Snart to shoot the flash. Like basically like Lewis is about to use like the little trigger for the bomb in the sister's neck. But he tells him to do it like Snart when he's hesitating or he won't ever see his sister alive. Luckily, Cisco gets it out, and Flash tells him Lisa is safe. Snart shoots him, and then like we have this moment where he turns like to him. He's like, "You're working for the Flash. I thought you hated him." And then I love this back. Not as much as I hate you. What a great moment. So well acted
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
by
cool
him.
moment.
Yeah. He lets Flash take his cold gun. Flash asks him why he did that if his sister was safe. He broke my sister's heart, only fair I break his. Like I liked this whole scene. Like this was a really good moment. Um,
Yeah, it really gives like I said earlier about the bar scene, this gives more like this makes Snart seem more tough and more scary than we've seen him before. Because before we've seen him, he's just kind of the guy that gets his ass kicked by Barry in the first 5 minutes of the episode before we get to the actual plot. And and now it's like, oh shit, this guy is kind of scary now.
yeah. And then like it's also it makes him like it gives him emotional depth basically too, which I mean he
Yeah.
had somewhat to an extent, but I think earlier like in season one, I think I was remembering more like this stuff where he's much more of a deeper character, and that's why in that one I'm like, oh, like he's not quite there yet, which like kind of was interesting for me back when we
Yeah, like
covered that
I
episode.
yeah, like I said, I was like, I thought they had introduced Golden Glider in season one, but apparently I was wrong on that one. So whoops.
It happens. But so we cut to Iron Heights. Barry talks to Snart over a prison telephone and remarks the last time he was here, he was visiting his father. Snart says he was doing the same. Barry says he knows his secret. He cares about his sister, and Snart says he knows his, and he better hope he doesn't talk in his sleep, which I found kind of funny.
Yeah. Reminds me of okay, I don't know the name of the song, so forgive my reference. Have you seen the Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
I have not.
Okay, so there's a song they sing that's I'm just gonna do part of it. It's like I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your
Oh,
sleep. That
yeah, I know that
line
song.
that Snart says reminds me of that song. Yeah, that song is in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Nice. I need to check it out at some point. I was definitely because I remember when that was again like little brief tangent. I remember when that was like coming out. It was like that and like creepy pastas were like a huge thing. Then I remember that being like a
Yeah.
certain time on the internet, basically, like where everyone was obsessed with those two
Yeah.
things, or at least people in my friend groups.
Even just like in my elementary school, every other word out of people's mouths was just Five Nights at Freddy's, Sonic.exe,
Slender
or
Man.
creepypastas. I didn't hear a lot of Slender Man. I
Really?
didn't hear of that till like high school.
Yeah, maybe just different. Well, obviously you're younger than me, but like different circles, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm not that big on horror, so maybe they did mention Slender Man and I just didn't pay attention.
yeah. But so like anyway, Barry says this confirms what he knew all along that there's good in Snart. He thinks he knows there's like he thinks he knows there's more than just being a criminal. And that he quips that does like how much does that pay? Barry says he'll have a lot of time to think about it, but Snart says not as much as he thinks and honestly says he'll be seeing him soon. So like Joe and him walk out, and there's a moment where he's doubtful that Snart can change, but Barry insists he's sure, suggesting they could transfer him to the Meta Wing, but Patty is already working on the paperwork. Joe wants to thank Barry for the advice, and Iris is gonna sit down with Francine. Cut to jitters. Patty runs into Barry. Cue the cute flirting is what I have in my notes. And
Yeah, well, actually, I'll wait to say my piece until you get to the end of their interaction because mine relates to the end of this scene.
Gotcha. Barry jumps the gun. Oh wait, not Barry. Damn. Uh, Patty jumps the gun and gives him her number, and he's surprised and thinks she thinks she misjudged it and says she's been meaning to do that. And relates it to them being able to contact each other easier as work colleagues. Damn it, Barry is what my note was because I kind of read it as like she's clearly so into him and like he's into her, but it's one of those things where I think he was just surprised and then like instead of just leaning into it and like, having it go forward, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you stalled it for a minute, bro. Come on. What was your note?
Yeah, I can see that. Mine just says, "Damn, Barry, that was smooth. Nice job." Because I thought he was doing it on purpose,
Oh, you think so?
but I
Well, yeah,
you
he
read it.
does.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll give you that. He does seem like he's kind of like it's like confident, like he's kind of like not letting her know like his next move, where it's like, oh yeah, like friends, like kind of. I could read it like that too, like where they both kind of know
yeah,
like it's gonna turn into something. I could see that too. I kind of like that better
yeah.
actually.
So that's why I was like, my note was like, "Damn, that was smooth, dude."
Yeah, I kind of like your. You know what? I like your version better. Yeah, I'm gonna choose to see it that way. But
First time I ever heard that.
So Cisco sees Lisa off and she thanks him for helping her when she felt vulnerable and he might be the closest thing she has to a real friend. He questions if she's telling the truth and she kissed him before speeding off on her motorcycle. Good for Cisco, man. I'm like so proud of him here.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, good
yeah,
job,
he
Cisco.
deserves it.
Yeah, especially with all the stuff he's been going through recently.
Oh my
But
gosh. And the shit he's about to go through just in this season alone. If you've seen the show before, you know what I'm referencing, but
yeah, and if not,
oof.
like I'm sorry because we spoil so many things in this rewatch podcast.
Yeah, I would not recommend listening to this if you've never seen the show in full, or at least past like this season.
Yeah, definitely. But cut back to Star Labs as they have the speed cannon finally working, and Stein wants to take the reins and testing it out since he's missed out due to his wellness hiatus, as he says. And the object he throws in stays there, proving it worked. Jay used CFL quark matter to stabilize it, something they perfected on his Earth. He'll show them sometime before realizing he's about to leave. Caitlin says he doesn't need to leave right now, that they still need his help with the breachers, and he says like, basically they need him to figure out how Zoom stole his, like, he needs to go figure out how Zoom stole his speed, is what he says. She says he can do that
Yeah.
here. If he goes,
Yeah, she's thirsty
I
for
know.
Jay in that moment. She is just like begging for him to stay. And it's like, okay, you can calm down just a little bit there.
Oh, I have a note here. And it's like if he goes back, they can't get in touch with him and they still need his help with Zoom or whatever else. Barry and Cisco see through this and that Caitlyn has a crush and back her up on this, which I thought was nice. Like they're looking
Yeah,
out for
they're
her.
being bros.
Yeah, so he agrees that once they take care of Zoom, he's going home. Caitlin checks on Stein, asking him how he's feeling. Stein starts seizing as his eyes go white and he turns into Firestorm partially, his hands and head flaming red and orange, then turning blue as his eyes go black and he collapses. This was like a what the fuck moment for me. Like that was pretty intense, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, he has blue flame and black eyes. Isn't that Deathstorm from the comics? Like, doesn't he have blue flames, or am I just thinking of Ghost Rider? Because I know one
Maybe.
of those two
I'm
flaming
not
characters
familiar
had blue
with it.
flames at one point.
Is Death like refresh my memory? Who is Deathstorm? Is that like the evil version of Firestorm or something?
Yeah, Deathstorm is like, so you know how Crime Syndicate versus the Justice League is like Ultraman and Superman,
Yeah,
Batman,
okay.
Owlman. Yeah, he's like one of those. He's in the Lego DC Supervillains game as
Your
the
Lego
the Earth dude.
your
This,
Lego bench
yeah.
of knowledge has really like helped you fill in gaps to like areas I don't even know about, like
Oh,
honestly.
100%, dude. Like I know every corner of like Lego DC mythology because I own every single one of those straight to DVD movies.
Nice. I love the Lego Batman, like the first one that not the Lego Batman like the stuff before, but I'm talking like the Will Arnett, like the jokey one,
Oh, the
basically
Will
like
Arnett movie.
yeah, I love that
I only
movie.
work in black and sometimes very, very dark gray.
Yeah, I love those.
That's the Lego movie.
That's one of my favorite Batman movies, honestly.
I
So
saw
good.
it one time when it came out in the theater. I
Mhm.
own it on DVD. I just haven't watched it in full since I saw it in the theater.
Gotcha. But so end credit, post credit, Star Labs nighttime, we cut back to the speed cannon in a dark, empty room as a mysterious figure that looks like Dr. Wells, minus the glasses, stands up and looks out at his surroundings ominously as creepy music plays. Ooh, like that was a cool scene.
Yeah, that was so cool. I put it in my notes. I said, "Fuck, dude, these ending reveals are so awesome." Because in, I think at the end of episode one, they have, "My name is Jay Garrick. Your world is in danger," and I was like, "Oh!"
Season
Like
two
they
is
have,
good, man. Like season
yeah, they've
two is
got
like
cool reveals
darker.
all throughout it. We should have asked, by the way. I was gonna mention this as well. We should have asked the VFX team more about Firestorm
Oh
because his effects
yeah.
are really cool. We should have touched more on Firestorm, definitely.
Cause that what was cool with me with that, and you guys can see like it's like one of the clips kind of where they talk about like some of like the running and things, like how they cheat. I gotta like now look out for that and like scenes to see if I can
Yeah,
actually tell,
we gotta
basically.
have like our binoculars on, just like, okay, how did they cheat this scene?
Or like with the firestorm thing, like him basically like Stefan saying that like he like there was nothing really much there and that they had to kind of like build that stuff from the ground up was like really cool.
Yeah, cause I mean, yeah, he's not wrong. Like he mentions this too in the interview. Literally, he's just a dude in raggedy clothes when he shows up for the first time. So there's not much to go on. You just add some fire effects to it.
Yeah. So, anyway, so all that being said, my heart humor spectacle, I'm trying to think. So my heart would definitely be that scene with Joe and Iris, like at the house, like that scene broke my heart, man. And it was so
Yeah,
good.
definitely the same for me.
Yeah. The spectacle. Honestly, when he freezes the lasers, that was like a really cool scene. Like that was kind of impressive and like a really like fun like movie like scene. And then the humor would probably be 'cause there are like some pretty funny moments. I honestly like just Joe walking off from Patty's like dark joke with the oh hell no thing. Like I thought that was
Oh,
really
yeah,
funny.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my humor was just kind of lazy. I just put Cisco because he's funny, but I also just have a heart humor spectacle thing that I copy paste sometimes.
Gotcha. So like how about your heart thing for the
So my heart is for this episode was definitely the same as yours. The Joe and Iris scene where they're talking in the house. It's just so heart-wrenching, and like you said, you just want to reach into the TV and
Yeah.
give both of them a hug. Um, my humor, I'm actually going to change because, yeah, like I said, mine just says Cisco. The Patty joke where she goes, "I thought I just stepped on an ear or whatever," and Joe's like, "Oh hell no." Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty funny. The spectacle for me, I only have one of them in the notes, but I have two. The the one is them like the tension when they're trying to remove the bomb from Snart's sister,
Okay.
and the other one is when the opening scene, like that whole opening scene was the spectacle of the episode for me because it just throws you right in. You're just like, you don't know what's going on. They give you details as it goes on, and it is actually important to the character development of Iris in the episode. So it's not just like, oh, hey, here's a cool scene of Flash kicking some ass and literally doing a 180 turn down a building.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, good
it
point.
is important to the actual show or the actual episode. Sorry. So that would
Yeah, you're
probably
good.
be my spectacle for this.
Yeah, cool. And then lightning bolts, because I know we've been kind of forgetting to do these recently. So
Oh yeah.
my lightning bolts would be probably 4 out of 5 lightning bolts. I thought this was like a great episode. How about yourself?
Yeah, same here. Four. Like, there's a lot of cool emotional stuff in here, and it's a well balance of like cool shit and like heartfelt stuff that it just all blends together really nicely. So yeah, definitely a four on my part.
So happy Mother's Day, everybody. Like,
Is
I
gonna
don't
come out a
know.
week like like a couple days later after
Yeah.
because you upload these what on Tuesdays, so it's gonna come out a couple days later.
Yeah, depending on how quickly I do this, this might be this coming Tuesday. But yeah, so anyway, like another great episode in the books. Like we're saying we're gonna try to focus on now obviously we're on YouTube, so like I'm trying to definitely
Ooh.
yeah, have more. It's been doing pretty decently on YouTube actually. But I'm trying to get more people to go over there because I feel like video, like between Spotify and this, I feel like video is more friendly on YouTube, like video
I
podcasts. I
feel
feel
like a
like,
lot of people don't know that Spotify has a video feature for podcasts. I feel like that's not like a well-known
yeah.
thing right now.
Yeah, because that's like one of those things too where I'll show people. I think YouTube is a lot easier for people to get into like a podcast. Like more people would probably check it out there. But anyway, speaking of podcasts, did you want to go ahead and do your plugs and then I'll do mine and then we'll get out of here?
Sure. So if you want to listen to me talking about nerdy topics, you can go to Spotify and YouTube and listen to Tismo Talks, a comic book podcast. My most recent episode was a commentary on Batman Forever in honor of the late Val Kilmer. Um, I had a lot of fun recording that actually. I had a good laugh at a couple points. You can hear it in the actual commentary. My next episode, I'm probably gonna record it tomorrow or the day after, because I had a issue with my camera when I was trying to do the video episode for the most recent Spectacular Spider-Man thing. So I'm just gonna refilm it. So I'll film it sometime this week or next week, and then it'll be out whenever I can edit it. You can also, you want to watch me play some video games, some superhero games, comic book related games, any type of video game. You can follow me or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Zurd Games. That's ZURDD Games. Um, right now I'm uploading weekly because I got far enough ahead on editing. I'm uploading Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time. You can Google conversion that to whatever your time zone is, but Thursdays in the afternoon sometime. That's when I upload my gaming videos. I'm doing a bunch of voice acting and writing stuff for my friend Minnow Bricks on YouTube. A bunch of their Lego Batman stuff I'm voice acting for. Um, let's see. I'm also writing a Spider-Man series for that channel. I'm trying to think what else I have going on. Voicing the Arkham tapes again. Can't really say who I am. And I think that's it.
Nice. So, anyway, you guys know, obviously this show, Flashbacks, Flash Rewatch podcast, you can find me, Brady, and Will when he's able to make it. So like Will comes on, he'll be here probably kind of like intermittently, basically. But yeah, like what I'd love to get all three of us on here just to like tackle an episode. It'd probably
Yeah,
be like when we
definitely.
did the season finale where it'd be one of our longer ones, but hey, that's totally fine. I
Ooh,
like
I
the
think
longer
this one's one of our
episodes.
longer episodes too.
Yeah. And speaking of longer episodes, if that's your thing, I recently joined Superhero Stuff You Should Know, where
Nice
you,
transition.
where you could find me as the co-host. We recently released
Ooh.
our Daredevil. Thank you. Recently released our Daredevil theatrical cut versus director's cut coverage, where it's a 2 hour video, and me and Ben can't manage to keep our videos under 2 hours. So if the longer
Apparently not.
podcasts, hey, that's a good problem to have. If a
Yeah.
longer podcast is your thing, definitely go check it out. I'll include links in the description. And then also, if you like superhero stuff, I have Night of the Batman, which is mine and my wife's show. It is her show. She will tell you that, and she is right. And we cover everything Batman related. It's a rebooted version of a YouTube show I did. So if that's your thing, check it out. We are eventually going to get into the Dick Grayson, Batman, like that first story arc where it's him and Damian, because my wife wanted to cover
I
that.
have
So
that
like,
comic over there on my
yeah,
bed.
it's a great one. Like I love the art and everything. I love Frank Quietly, but definitely that's coming up. And then I also have Tangential Exchange. That I do that with my best friend Trip. We kind of just try to make each other laugh. That is our most laid back show, and that will come back very soon. I'm hanging out with them soon. We'll see if we end up recording something. But
Cool. Oh, and we also have or had, I don't know if we're still doing it anymore. We had a commentary planned with Ben for Batman versus Superman.
that's in the works,
So
definitely.
when you guys will see that whenever.
Yeah, that's definitely still in the works. I haven't forgotten about that. We will figure out time to record that. But anyway, like speaking of like things I'm planning, What Mean will eventually come back. That's one of those things. I have so many podcasts. It's an addiction. I got a problem guys. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
anyway, I got a lot of
I need to
them.
get that looked at, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, um, going off that, so like if you want to check all that out, that's out there. And we will eventually do that commentary. I'm actually looking forward to that to make some Snyder Bros mad, I guess. But
Dude, that's gonna be so fun.
Amanda actually requested, and I don't know if she'll actually do it, but she mentioned something about like, oh, I could talk about like the Snyder Bros. Like stuff. Like she doesn't like that either, and like it's like if you want to jump on, like I'm down to have you on, just basically complain about stuff too. Like that's fine. But
We could use another person when we're
we
complaining
could
about shit.
we could use a girl in it because it's just a bunch of
Not what I
dudes.
was gonna say. I mean, it's not wrong, but not where I was going with that.
Have a girl's perspective in it. But it actually would be interesting because like the Snyder stuff kind of gets accused of being kind of misogynistic a little bit sometimes. But
Yeah.
anyway, all that being said, through the magic of Zoom, yo, we're about
Yo.
to we're about to do this.
Damn
Try to
it. God
sync it
damn it.
up. All right, Brady, you ready on your end?
Yep.
All right, three, two,
Two,
one.
one.
We will
We will
see.
see
No,
you.
wait. Hold on. We gotta
Wait.
do it a fancy way because the special effects guys said
Oh
we gotta
yeah.
like mix it
Yeah,
up
because
again. So
Jacob was telling us.
yeah. So how do you want to do it? You want to do it like we did last time?
I don't even remember how we did it last time.
It was like, we'll see you in the Speed Force. Like we could
Oh,
do that.
oh,
Like
like
want to do that?
the intro to the Fleischer Superman.
Or like the Saturday Night Live kind of vibes is what they were saying.
Oh no, I think it would be interesting to try it like the Fleischer
Okay, we can do that.
the
Sure.
Fleischer Superman, where it's like faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a
Sure,
locomotive.
yeah, we can do it. We can, at the end of each episode, we can kind of decide how we want to do it. Like, that sounds good. But yeah, you ready on
Yeah,
your end?
that'd be cool. Yeah,
Cool. All right, three, two, one.
two, one.
We
We
will
will
see
see
you
you
in the
in the
Speed
Speed
Force. We
Force.
should have practiced that before
We
anyway.
should have. We really should have. It's
Perfect.
whatever.